Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a fabulous day. Thank you so much for joining me. Well, today we're going to create a card using the Spellbinders Glimmer Hot Foil Kit of the month for November 2020. This month's kit is called Merry Christmas Wishes. It has 4 glimmer plates. 3 of them are sentiments that spell out Christmas wishes, and then there's a smaller one that says to you and yours. It has 1 cutting plate that will cut out the bottom edge of your glimmer plate, which is fabulous. And we're going to jump in and get started. This is your glimmer plate this month, and it is so neat. Okay, I have 2 pieces of cardstock. One of them is Nina Classic Crest Solar White, and then I'm going to use the other one as a shim. The other one is my heavyweight cardstock, and so I wanted to create a shim for what I'm doing. Now what I'm centering it on my cardstock panel the way where I want it, and then I'm using a pretty good size of Post-it note tape to secure it down to that cardstock. Next, I'm going to bring in my Platinum 6. We're going to take our panel that we taped down our glimmer plate to, we're going to put it face down on our platform here. I'm going to add my little shim, and then I'm going to bring in my embossing mat, and then my top plate, my top cutting plate. I found that this sandwich works best for what I'm going to do today. I'm going to run it through. Now what this is going to do is it's going to emboss. Well, emboss my scratch shim here, which is nice. You could use this one if you wanted to, but it embossed my Nina Classic Crest cardstock. You can see the indentions here, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to be able to see the image, and this is going to help me out. Now I'm not removing my plate. I actually used my Post-it note tape as a shim, and so I just flipped up my plate. I want to keep that in place. Next, I'm going to use my Copic markers. That's why I chose Nina cardstock. It's alcohol marker friendly. But I'm going to color in each one of my ornaments a different color, using 3 different shades for each ornament of Copic markers. I skipped the coloring because any colors you have would work. Any alcohol markers you have would work. Any coloring medium would work, actually. Now, instead of using the polished brass that came in the kit, my card today, you can see, is bright and vibrant colors. So I went through my foil stash, and I'm going to do the foiling on this panel with Speckled Aura. And I'm excited I get to share with you this brand new product over at the Spellbinders shop. This is called the Quick Trimmer, and it's made for foils, guys. It's not only made for foiling, for cutting your foils, it's made for cutting paper too. Super neat little gadget. What is included on the back, it tells you how you can use it, but it has your self-healing mat, and then it has 2 different blades. One is a foil blade, and it's marked on there, and then one is a paper blade. Spellbinders does offer blade replacements, and so if your blades get dull, you can replace them pretty inexpensively. But this is your cutting mat. It's a very nice quality cutting mat, guys. It's very heavy too. And then you have that plastic plate with the lines on it. That's your trimmer plate. What you do is you put your foil in there, you line it up. My foil had a jagged edge, so I'm going to cut that jagged edge off, and we're going to straighten it up. Using the grid lines, you can just line up your foil, and then you can just use your foil blade and trim off the size of piece that you want. I went through twice, but really, guys, the only reason I went through twice with that blade was because I didn't feel it cutting. Once is fine, is all you need. That's how sharp the blades are, so be real careful with the blade. But it creates perfectly portioned foil. How nice is that? I was falling in love with this. I was like, oh my goodness, this is so nice. Okay, I placed my Speckled Aura underneath my glimmer plate there, and again I used that Post-it note as a hinge. But we're going to bring in both the sentiments that came with the Merry Christmas Wishes glimmer plate set. I'm going to trim down some foils for both of those. Now I wanted Christmas to be in the purple here. The purple is called Fuchsia Flower, and then I wanted to do the wishes in a pink foil. And so we're going to use 2 different foils for our Christmas wishes sentiments. I'm just adding it in there, and I'll use my my cutting blade to just cut some strips, and this is so fun. It doesn't curl or peel, and you can get the perfect size strips. A lot less waste too, guys. So nice little gadget. If you guys have the Glimmer hot foil system, I think you're gonna like this little quick trimmer. Okay, let's do the pink now. I had to remove the stick-it on there. I don't think I've used this foil before, but we'll just place our trimmer plate right on top, line it up, making sure it's straight, and then I'm going to trim off a small piece. I'm going to scoot it down a little bit and then trim off another piece. I did 2 pieces because I wanted that end piece had that sticker on it, and some of the foil lifted up, so I don't need that end piece. Okay, those are my strips for my foiling. We're going to set this aside. Actually, you know what? Let's try some paper. So I have a panel here. I'm going to line it up on my grid mat and then add my clear plate. And then you can trim strips in 1/2 inch increments. How nice is that? And you know how I often, sometimes it's hard to gauge with the paper trimmer where to cut. But I think this is super fun. So I did a 1/2 inch strip, a 1 inch strip, and it cuts beautifully, guys. Super neat little investment. I like it. I just thought I'd share that with you since we have the Glimmer foils out today. But I have my Glimmer machine heating off to the side. We're going to scoot everything over and bring in our Glimmer hot foil system. And if you guys are new to the Glimmer hot foil system, I'll find the unboxing video that I did and I'll link it at the end here. Now I'm going to pick up this panel, and when I did this I realized my foil was upside down. So I'm going to lift up my Glimmer plate here carefully, flip around my foil the right side, and then we'll just let that Glimmer plate fall back in its place. And then we are going to place it face down on our platform here, and then we're going to add our shims. I use the Glimmer shim that came with the kit, and then a couple pieces of cardstock, and then I have that top plate. Okay, we're going to run this through our Platinum 6 machine to see. I wasn't sure how this was going to turn out, but I know sometimes when you use alcohol markers over foiling, it dulls it down. And so that's why I did the coloring first and then the foiling on top. And you know what? I loved the way this turned out. It turned out super neat. I'm going to remove my Glimmer plate here. I'm going to carefully remove my foil. There was a couple areas where I went maybe outside the line, but I think I can clean that area up with a white gel pen. But I love the sparkle that this added. So pretty. So maybe I shared with you. I don't know if I never did this before, so I thought it'd be fun to share it with you. Okay, we're going to add our foils. A fuchsia flower is the purple. I'm going to add it to the Christmas. The pink foil I'm going to add to the wishes. And originally I was going to do the strips, but then changed my mind. I'm going to bring in a full-size card panel and just place this, kind of centering it, and then place it towards the bottom of that panel. And then while we're at it too, I'm going to take the secondary sentiment that says to you and yours, and I'm going to foil that with the Speckled aura. And then I'll use one of those strips of cardstock for that one. And then we can just trim it up with our brand new quick trimmer. Okay, we'll add this piece here. And then I'll just add my shims, and we will we'll take the coordinating die that goes with this Glimmer set. There was a little bit of excess foiling, so I took my sand eraser and cleaned up my image here. But I'll take the die that went with this, and it cuts out the bottom edge of your ornaments, and the top end is open end, which makes it really nice. I'm going to make sure it's centered, and then I'll tape down the left and the right, and then my timer light stops, so we're going to take our Glimmer plates here, and we're going to run that through our Platinum 6. Now my secondary sentiment didn't foil. I shifted it, so we're going to do a redo on that one. But the Christmas wishes turned out fabulous. There was a little excess foiling, but I'm not too concerned. We can use a sand eraser to clean that up. Okay, I refoiled my secondary sentiment, and that's good to go. I'm going to run this one through my die cut machine, and then this one is ready to go. Okay, I have that a little bit of tackiness left from my post-it note tape, and I think that's because we added heat to it. But it just came up when I rubbed my panel. Okay, these look good. We are going to bring in some distressed oxide inks. I want to do something extra special. Before we do anything though, I'm going to clean up my little eraser shavings, and we're going to take a rectangle die and die cut out both of these at once to create our panel. I think it's easy to line up where I want it, and then I'm actually using the largest die in the Spellbinders Essential Rectangles die set. I'm just going to line it up and then die cut them both at one time. This way I know they're exactly the perfect width, and they're perfectly centered too. I'll just tape down the top and the sides, and we'll run it through the die cut machine. My plan is to pop up our upper piece. So this is going to help me with alignment, basically. Okay, ran this through, and this one is good to go. And next, I decided I'm not going to use my my secondary sentiment. I just want to use Merry Christmas. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to my card base, which is a standard A2 size card base. We'll add that to the bottom. The rectangle die that I used actually cuts out a panel that's 4 inches by 5 1/4. I have a little excess here I'm going to wipe away. Okay, we're going to flip over our ornaments, and then I'm going to add some foam squares behind there. And then before I remove the release paper, I wanted to do something a little bit special. Again, I'm going to use my oxide inks to create a little bit of shading. Now, I wanted to create a little mask, and to do that, I'm going to take the die that I used to cut out the ornaments and just die cut out some white scratch paper or cardstock. You can see here. I cut it in 2 different pieces. I'm going to use the bottom piece. You can save the top piece for foiling if you wanted to, but we are going to just kind of line it up where I wanted it to go, and then I'm going to add some color to it. I thought first we'd add just a light blue, which is tumbled glass, and I basically wanted a shadow behind my ornaments here, just for added interest here. So we're just going to lightly add some tumbled glass as a pretty light blue. And after I got this done, I thought, you know what, the background was such a colorful background, let's do a colorful shadow background also. So I want to bring in some more oxide inks. And I kind of coordinated the colors of my ornaments. I'm taking my worn lipstick, and I'm going to go over all the way over to the left. And I'm using the cutout here, or my mask, as a guide. So I'm adding my worn lipstick, and then next I'm bringing in my shaded lilac, I believe. It's a real light purple. I'm mixing those 2 colors together so they blend very well. And then I'm going to take my squeezed lemonade, and we'll add that right next to the shaded lilac, carefully, because you don't want to shade yellow with purple too much. It might muddy it up and create a brown. After we have our yellow added, I'm going to bring in my tumbled glass one more time and go over all the way on the right end here, mixing those together. I wanted to create a green, so when you mix the yellow and the blue, it creates a real pretty green. And I was happy with the way this turned out, kind of creating a rainbow colored background. Okay, next I removed the release paper off of my ornaments, and I got ready to adhere it, and I thought I loved the way this turned out, that I wanted a little bit more of that shadow to show. So to do this, I'm going to use my quick trimmer, and I'm going to trim off a 1/4 inch off the very bottom, right just below my sentiment here. And then this way I can have an extra 1/4 inch of that shadow showing. I had adhesive on my backside, so it stuck to my mat, but kind of it was an advantage. Okay, now we're going to add this to the bottom of our card base. And then we can go ahead and add our ornaments. Now I wanted the top of this panel to be on the top of my card base. So you can see here it gave me about a 1/4 inch more of that shadowy background versus an 1/8 of an inch. And I was really happy with the way this turned out. I just thought it was so pretty. I do want to add a little sparkle, so I'm going to bring in some rainbow gems. These are gems from Fun Stamper's Journey, and I found some colors that coordinated. I wish they had pink in there, but they didn't. But they had a purple, and then they had the blue, and then the green that really matched pretty well. So I added just a few above my ornaments and below for added sparkle. And then that finishes off my card today, guys, using the Spellbinders Glimmer Hot Foil Kit of the month for November. I can't believe I'm saying November. Oh my goodness. But I think it's such a pretty glimmer plate set. If you guys are interested, links are down below. But thank you so much for joining me. Have a fabulous day, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.